me and hear my message. Big, heartfelt thanks to you guys. And to Michael and Orly, thanks for giving me this milestone opportunity. Appreciate it. And lastly, I want to thank all of the speakers. You guys are phenomenal. Your wisdom and your knowledge totally landed, because this is where it landed. I am curious, open-minded, and willing to learn. Because if you're just curious without the other two, it doesn't work. So, at this point, I would like to ask Michael to, when you can, no rush, you can put the first image up. And today, this is what I intend to share with you, to give to you. Some new perspectives on how to find your highest paying clients with emotional connections and cultural differences. But first, I want to take you back a little bit, back in time, to where this all started, a defining moment which brought me where I am today. And that place is in Israel. So I was just 3.5 years old. I stood at the side of the road with my sister, and my mother gave us each a bouquet of freshly cut flowers from her garden, which she cultivated with exotic flowers from around the world, fragrant roses. On Sabbath, my mom would make a bouquet of flowers, freshly cut flowers, and she would take it to the elderly and sick in the village. So my sister and I got instructions to give the villagers who passed by each a rose. My mother was in her garden when she looked up, and she saw a crowd of people around us, and she was alarmed, so she ran down the path. And as she ran down the path, she stopped suddenly. She heard a little voice, and that little voice was me. I said, "Want to see what's under my hat?" The villagers were laughing hysterically because they thought I had a lizard or something under my hat. But my mom stood there smiling, because she knew that a few days before she had shaved my head. So really, there was nothing under my hat. Now, the reason why I told you this story is because I am not I wasn't born with the talent of making connections. This is a skill that I acquired from my mother. I learned it from my mother. And I work at it every day, and I use it every single day. I have made it a way of life. And it's the foundation of my extraordinary life today. So, I will say this up front so that it's anchored and you don't forget it. And Michael, if you want to, you can take the picture down, please. Yeah, so this is my biggest tip for you, and that's why I'm giving it to you where I want you to remember it. The strongest emotion, the strongest connection that you will ever make in your life is an emotional one. You know, people make buying decisions based on emotion, and then they back it up with logic. So I ask you, doesn't it make sense for your business transactions to be based in, to have a lot of emotions in it, since people make their buying decisions based on that. Wouldn't you agree? You know what? I don't have the chat. Oh. And let me see if I see the time. Okay, I can see the time now. All right, so once I got that cleared, I'll move on to the next point. Do you know anyone who struggles to make strong connections? Or do you know someone who it comes easily, seamlessly, naturally to them? Well, one reason why this is because when we meet people, we start out the conversation with pleasantries. I call it the how do you do's. And then we basically have what's called surface level conversations. And we look for commonalities and similarities. And this is good. This is good because it's a starting point. And it opens the door to building trust with your clients. The danger is when you stay there. You stay in that comfort zone, in the shallows. And successful people know the elite